welcome Art the Clown!
Hey, welcome into another episode of JDizzle's Spine Tizzles. I am really excited to be talking about the film that we're covering today, and that is the brand new, much anticipated slasher sequel by Damien Leone, Terrifier 2. Taking place once again in the town of Miles County, the evil Art the Clown returns to wreak bloody chaos on the streets and sets his sights on an innocent teen and her younger brother. So many of you may have seen that the master of horror storytelling himself, Stephen King, has praised this film, quoting, "Terrifier 2, grossing you out old school." That's a pretty good seal of anyone who's a gore hound particularly just has to seek out Terrifier, because it really is a must-see in splatter cinema. And I think what captures the imaginations of so many filmgoers with the two films so far in particular is just Damien Leone's creativity with the kills that happen on screen. And Art the Clown is very much his baby. He's so passionate about Art the Clown, with the character appearing in all of his work so far. So the only one of his works that doesn't feature Art the Clown is a 2015 film he created entitled Frankenstein vs. the Mummy, and it wasn't until the 2016 feature-length adaptation of Terrifier that David Howard Thornton took the helm and took the role of Art the Clown completely into his own. I can see why a lot of people are saying he's becoming an iconic horror villain. He is absolutely relentless, and the violence that he causes on screen is absolutely insane. I think also what makes the character work, and in particular in Terrifier 2, where they do kind of expand on this, is the humour. The pitch black humour that runs throughout Terrifier is key to what makes it work. I think it is very, with David Howard Thornton's performance, it's so razor sharp and so on point. And he was actually a mime artist before he took the role of Art the Clown, so he is just an absolute expert and professional in doing all the miming and the clown mannerisms. He's super creepy and really funny, and just I loved him particularly. Well, I loved him in the first, but I particularly love him in this one. Lauren Lavera as Sienna in this film. Personally think her performance is wonderful as well, and this is where the film also has a bit of a step up, is that it does have a lot more character work involved. There is a bit more of a story going on in Terrifier 2. That's nothing against the first Terrifier, because it is still relentlessly entertaining and just goes by so quickly, but the second one does enhance upon the plot, and I think is all the better for it. Lavera's performance is a big part of this. She is a deeply sympathetic character. I have to talk about a particular other character in this who is an amazing creation. That is, of course, the little pale girl. This is one of the best child performances I think I've seen in a long time. She is so good in this. The makeup work is fantastic. Again, a lot of that goes down to Damien Leone as well. He writes, directs, edits, produces. Attention to detail and care and pride in providing Art the Clown's makeup. The practical effects are gloriously gory and a really nice throwback to the kind of 80s or cheesy sort of slashers. The particular scene in which this really shines is the bedroom scene. I won't describe what happens in the bedroom scene, but if you've seen it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is relentlessly brutal. As you may have seen, Terrifier 2 has made headlines for causing vomiting in theatres, causing people fainting and walkouts and such. Watching it, I mean, obviously people are different. It depends what you're going in with. If you're not particularly a horror fan, then I can see that this would cause you to faint and pass out, because it is very brutal. For anybody who is a deep horror fan and is particularly well versed in gory films, I think you'll be able to stomach it. Personally, I just found the gore very impressive and very entertaining. I was quite surprised to hear that there has been a lot of sort of a deep physical reaction to the film, I have to say. I really like this film. I think it's definitely worth checking out. In the UK, you can stream it on Amazon Prime. You have to buy it, but I would highly recommend purchasing it. I don't regret having done it. I think it definitely deserves all the money it makes. A bit of a shame that it's not in any cinema screens in the UK. I think it should be shown in a theatre near you if you live in the US or Australia. I'm pretty certain it's shown in Australia now as well. But I am glad that I've been able to see it in time for Halloween, because that is another thing the film does very well and the filmmakers do very well. The love for Halloween is very strong in this film as well. There's, from the locations to a shop called Abracadabra, which I thought was a really cool shop. It is a really good one to watch around the Halloween period, and a double bill, definitely Terrifier and Terrifier 2 around Halloween. Can't go too wrong with that. And the fact that the film is nearly 2.5 hours long and felt like half of that time, if that, that's incredible for a slasher film. That is quite an achievement. Right, guys, we're nearly there. We're nearly at the end of the JDizzle Spine Tizzles for this Halloween. We've got one more episode. This one I'm really looking forward to talking about with you guys. It's a particularly nostalgic one, so stay tuned tomorrow.